Hi everyone, welcome back to another one of our videos that we're recording for you. We're going to look at the 2017 paper today, and so we'll go through some of this. Now, I'm not going to go through again some of the more basic questions, like you should know by now how to add 74 to 147, for example. Similarly for B and C, these are quite simple questions, 3 marks. You need to know how to complete those questions, and I think you will do, okay, without making any mistakes. So let's look at some of the more challenging questions from question 2 onwards. Now, it says here, in each part of this question, the printed number can be made by multiplying 2 prime numbers together. Write the 2 prime numbers. So here, what we need to do is think about 57 and how we can split 57 up into product of its primes. So what numbers can go into 57 that I know are prime? Well, I know 60 can be divided by 3 and 3 is the prime. And so 57 can also, because only 3 less, right? So if I think about that, I know it's 3 times something. 3 times 20 is going to be 60. So 3 times 19 is going to be 57. And 19, I know, is also a prime. So 3 and 19 would be the numbers that we need to multiply, 2 prime numbers, to get 57. So we're going to write 2 prime numbers for 91 similarly. And so 91 is a bit more of a tricky one. So I've got to kind of go through numbers that I know are going to go into 91, or I might have to kind of work on that, right? So I know 2 isn't because it's an odd number. 3 isn't because 9 added 1 is 10, and therefore it's not a multiple of 3, and therefore it won't be a multiple of others as well, including, well, I know 9 times 10 is 90, that's 91, so it's not 9. 10, nope. 11 times 8 is 88. 12, no, it's the even number. 13, let me think about 13. 13 times 5 is 65. Add another 13. 65 add 13, 68. 78. 78 add 13 is going to be 91. Yeah, so 13 times 7 is going to be 91. So I would kind of go through the numbers one by one, thinking of 3, then maybe going to other prime numbers like 5, then thinking about 7. I know 9's not a prime, neither is 10, 11 possibly, doesn't work. 12's not a prime, I'm not even going to bother actually. And then it's 13's the next prime, so I look at 13. So think about the prime numbers, right? That and then try to divide 91 by the prime numbers. You don't have to go through all of them, like all the numbers, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because you know some of them are not prime. So just concentrate on the prime numbers, and therefore you can get there a lot quicker with these types of questions. The next one, 5 add 3 is 8. 7 add 2 is 9. 8 times 9. 8 times 9 we should know by now. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. Then you've got, what is the value of 5 plus 3 times 7 add 2. So bid mass again, if you remember. Some of us call it bid mass. Some of us call it bod mass. And we've got brackets is the key thing first. So we're going to do brackets first. 3 times 7 is going to be 21. And so we've got 5. Add 21, add 2. 5 add 21 is 26. 26 add 2, 27, 28. So we've got 28 here as well. Okay. The next question. Similar, 5 add 3, the brackets first is 8 times 7 add 2, if we rewrite that. Multiplication next, so you've got 8 times 7, 8 times 8 is 64, 8 times 7 is 56, 56 add 2 is 58. So we've got 58 for question C. And our final question for question 3 says, work out the value of 5 plus 3 times 7 plus 2. Use your answer as use your answer the same as part A, B, C of this question. Write A, B, C in the answer box. Okay, let me reread that again. I'm not sure. Okay, right. So it says use your answer. Is your answer the same as part A, B, C of this question? Write A, B, C in okay, right. So what's 5 plus 3 times 7 add 2? Or 3 times 7 is the first thing we do, 21. 5 add 21, add 2. We've seen that before. 5 add 21 plus 2 is the same as B. This is going to be 58 here. That's going to be the same as B, and so we just write B in brackets here, and that's the answer for D. Okay, it's the same as part B, and so we just write B instead of 28. Okay, 4A. It says there, which number is halfway between 0.1 and 0.4? When you're trying to work out halfway points, the best thing to do is add them together, 0.1, add 0.4, and then divide that by 2. So that's going to be 0.5 divided by 2. If you're not sure how to do that, you can use the bus stop method, right? 5 divided by 2, is it 5 divided by 2? Yeah, 0.5 divided by 2, excuse me. Not 5 divided by 2, 0.5 divided by 2. So 0.5 divided by 2, that's going to be 0. 5 divided by 2 is going to be 2, 1 remaining. And so 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. So 0.25. Halfway point between 0.1 and 0.4 is 0.25. So again, halfway point, the best thing to do is add them together. 0.01, add 0.26, and then divide it by 2. 0.01 and 0.26 is 0.27 divided by 2. So you can think of it as 27 divided by 2, or you can just write down 0.27 divided by 2 using the bus stop method, and you can use short division. And what do we get here? We should get 0 divided by 2 is 0, 2 divided by 2 is 1, 7 divided by 2 is going to be 3, and 1 remainder, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 0.135 is what we get for the halfway point between 0.01 and 0.26. What is the smallest value out of these numbers? Well, we know they all start off with 5. That's one thing. It's all 5 wholes and something. So we need to make sure the first column, the ones column, is largest, right? Let me just swoop to this. Apologies. You should be able to follow through in previous questions. That should be better for you though, in terms of seeing the numbers. So 5.301, 5.031, 5.13, 5.103, they're all very similar, right? And so they all have 5, 3, 0, and 1, right? And most of them have them. And so what we need to do is look at the next column. So first, we look at the ones column. So the ones column, I'm not saying the first digit, because sometimes what happens is the first digit might be in the tens column and the other one might be in the ones column. So the tens column might be smaller than the ones column, but it still means if the others don't have any tens, the tens column is going to be bigger. So this is the ones column, they all have 5, great, they're all the same. Then the next column, 3 is bigger than 0, it's bigger than 1, it's bigger than 1. So that, it says which is the smallest, that's not the smallest, that's the largest. Okay, so we've got 0 here and you've got 1 here, that's not the smallest either. And that's not the smallest either. And so 5.031, right? 5.031 is the smallest because the tenths column, this is the tenths column, how many tenths there are. This has got 0 tenths, whereas this has got 1 tenth, and therefore 5.031 is the smallest out of those 4 numbers. Right, let's have a look at question 5 now. It says that John is repeating a 2-step calculation using a number machine to multiply by 7 and then subtract by 3. Okay, subtract 3. His number machine works like this. Input times 7, then take away 3. That gives us an output. What is the output if John uses 12 as his input? So we do 12 times 7. 12 times 7 is going to be 84. 84 take away the 3. 84 take away the 3 is going to be 81. And that's our answer for question 5A. Then it says John obtains an output of 39. What was his input? So we know 39 is his output. Before he had 39, he must have taken away 3. So it must have been 3 more than 39. 39 add 3 is 42. And that 42 is going to be given when he multiplied that number, the input, by 7. So we're going to divide by 7. So we're doing the inverse operation. It says take away 3, we added 3. It says multiply by 7, we divide by 7. That's from going from the output to the input. So 42 divided by 7 is going to be 6, and therefore the input must have been 6 here. Casey is using a different multiply than add number machine. When she inputs 3, the output is 26. So input 3, something happens, multiplying something, add something, gives me 26. So I know 3 times 8, for example, 8, 16, 24 is 24, and then I can add 2 as an example. That might be it, might not be. When she inputs 5, the output is 36. So 3 times 5, so 8 times 5 is 40, but then that doesn't work either, right? So actually, I said times 3 or times 8. 8, 16, 24, 24, yeah. So if it's times 8, that's going to be 5 times 8 is 40. That's too much. So maybe times 8 is not going to be a good idea. Okay. So maybe it'll be 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 11 is 26. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 add 11. Oh, that worked quite quickly. Okay. That was me just getting there, right? So times 5 add 11 might work. So what I would do, I tried times 8. I don't know why, I just thought that might be it. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 2. So I tried times 8, add 2. That didn't work, okay? Because I got 26 for the first one, but 5 times 8 is 40 plus 2 is 42, and that says 36. And so that didn't work very well. So I had to think, well, that if it's times 8 and made it 40, that's too big. So it has to be a smaller number. So I tried times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25, add 11 is 36, great. 3 times 5 is 15, add 11 is 26, great, it works. And so it would be times 5 and then 11. So times 5 and then add 11. What output will Casey obtain when the input is 4? If the input is 4, 4 times 5 is 20, 20 plus 11 is going to be 31. And so she would get 31 as the output when the input is 4. Question 6a, calculate 2.3051 times 1,000. We all should know that we shift the digits left. So we get 3 times 1, 2, 3. So we're going to get 2305.1, 2305.1, 2305.1 for that question. The next question is 2,351 divided by 1,000. Again, decimal places here. We shift, in this case, the digits right 4 times. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 2.3051. Which is bigger, 3 to the power of 4 or 4 to the power of 3? We've got to work out what they are, right? So we have to remember 3 to the power of 4. What does that mean? 3 to the power of 4 means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. Okay, that's 81. And we've got 4 to the power of 3. That means 4 times 4, which is 16, times 4, which is 64. And so 3 to the power of 4 is a larger value, it's bigger than 4 to the power of 3. Then it says calculate the result of 4 cubed, take away 3 to the power of 4. And so we know 4 cubed, we worked it out, is 64, take away 81. Okay, 64 to 81. 64 take away 64 is 0. So 64 take away 81 must be a negative number. We're taking away more than 64, right? And so it's going to be negative. If I take away 64 is 0, then I've got another 6, 7, 17 to get rid of, right? So I have to take away another 17, so it'll be negative 17. Make sure you clearly write the negative, okay? Or not negative, you take a negative, yeah. You make sure it's clear. Don't write a little dot or little dot like that, because in an exam, the examiner is going to be rushed, and if they miss that, even if it's their fault, you know, you're going to lose a mark for no reason. You should have got it right, and I know you can. Okay, in the pyramid of bricks, question 8, below the number on a brick equals the two numbers immediately below it multiplied together as an example. 6 times 18, for example, is 108. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18, for example. Fill in the numbers on the 3 bricks to complete the pyramid. So if it's multiplying, so 5 times 3 is 15. So I'll write 15 here. And I've got 3 times something equals 42. So I have to do 42 divided by 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's going to be 14. So 14 times, not 1.4. So let me get rid of that. 14 times 3, it's going to be 42. Then you've got 15 times 42 to get the top value. 10 times 42 is going to be 420. Add 5 times 42 is going to be 210. So that's going to be 630 all together. And therefore, you have 630 at the top, 15 in the middle, and 14 at the bottom of question 8. Question 9, a bag contains 0.35 liters. How many milliliters is this? So 0.35 liters is going to be a certain amount of milliliters. We know that as 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. And so 0.35 liters times, if you multiply that by 1,000, will give you how many milliliters that is. Okay, so you've got 0.35 times 1,000 is 0.35, 350, excuse me. It's 350 milliliters. The picture is 540 milliliters tall. What is the measurement in centimeters? We know 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. So we have to do 540 millimeters divided by 10, because for every 10 it's 1 centimeter. That's going to be 54 centimeters, which is equivalent to 540 milliliters. The next question, a bag of flour contains 1,029 grams. Rewrite this quantity in kilograms. We know 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. And so 1,029 grams is 1,000 grams. Add 29 grams. We know 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. 29 grams out of 1,000 is 29,000, which is 0.029. And so it'd be 1.0, excuse me, 29. Let's write that again, 1.029 as our final answer. Okay, 1.029 kilograms. Add together 1 millimeter, 0.1 centimeter, and 0.1 meter. Okay, so give your answers in centimeters. So we have to kind of change this into centimeters. I know 10 millimeters is 1 meter. 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. I wish it was 1 meter. 10 so let me write this down. 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. I've got 0.1 centimeters here. So that must mean that if I've got 1 millimeter, that's 1/10. 1 millimeter is going to be 1/10 of a centimeter, which is 0.1. 1/10, the 10th column as 1, so 0.1. So 1 millimeter is 0.1 centimeters. I've got 0.1 centimeters here as well. And then I've got 0.1 meters. I know 100 centimeters equals to 0.1 meters. 0.1 meters, 100 centimeters, what am I saying today? 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter, I should say. And now I've got 0.1 meters. Okay, 0.1 meters is a 1/10 of 1 meter. And so a 10th of 100 is 10 centimeters. Okay, we can multiply 0.1 by 100 as well, and we get 10 centimeters. So we've got 10 centimeters, we've got 0.1 centimeters, and another 0.1 centimeters. So we've got 10.2 centimeters. 10 plus 0.1 plus 0.1 is equal to 10.2 centimeters. Finally, question E for number 9. It says here, the area of a postage stamp is calculated as 2 centimeters times 2.5 centimeters, which is 5 square centimeters. What is the area of the stamp in square millimeters? So firstly, it's easy for us to make a mistake because we know 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter, we might be tempted to write 5 times 10 and get 50 square millimeters, which would be wrong, okay? Because this is area and it's not length. That's the length. It's not the same as an area, okay? So here, the best thing to do with these questions, when it comes to area, volume, and they've changed the unit of measure from, in this case, centimeters to millimeters, centimeters squared, sorry, to millimeter squared, what you need to do is best to just change the centimeters into millimeters and then multiply again to get the area. So 2 centimeters is 20 millimeters, and 2.5 centimeters is 25 millimeters, and that will give us 25 times 2 times 25 is 50. 20 times 25 is 500 square millimeters. So you've got 500 here. Question 10 is going to be a Formula 1 race is 96 laps of the track. A driver averages 1 minute 20 seconds per lap. How long is his race in hours and minutes? Okay, so a driver averages 1 minute 20 seconds per lap though. But a Formula 1 race is 96 laps. So what do we need to do? We need to work out 96 times, how long is his race in hours and minutes? 96 times 1 hour, 1 minute rather, 1 minute and 20 seconds. So we have to do that 96 times. Well, 96 times 1 minute is 96 minutes, plus 96 times 20 seconds. That's a bit more tricky, right? What should I do here? I could do 96 times 20 as 96 times 2 times 10. That might make my life easier instead of using column multiplication straight away. 96 times 2, 180 plus 12, 192. So 192 times 10 is 1,920. 1,920 seconds. Now, I want my answer in hours and minutes. Now, I need to change this into minutes first. And so 1,920 into minutes, I know that 1,920, I could use bus stop method. But instead I can think about, well, I know there's 60 seconds in a minute. So let me split this up into numbers that I know are going to be easily divisible by 60. Or 1,880 or 1,800 and 120, right, is going to be easier for me. 1,800 divided by 60 is going to be 30, right? So we've got 30 minutes here. 120 divided by 60 is going to be 2. So we've got 32 minutes. This is equal to 32 minutes. Okay, so 32 minutes. So I've got 96 minutes plus 32 minutes, which is equal to 98 plus 30 is going to be 128. 128 minutes, which is, well, I know 60 minutes is an hour, 120 minutes is 2 hours, and 8 minutes is 128 minutes. So remember, this is 120 and 8 minutes. 120 minutes is 2 hours and 8 minutes left. So we've got 8 here. Question 11. A coat is advertised on a discount website. The original price is £120. Ashok and Ed are both trying to get the best price to buy the coat. Okay, so they want to get the best price. Ashok buys the coat for a sale at 40% off. How much does he pay? Okay, so if he gets it off at 40% off, we know that 10% sorry, of 120 is £12. 40% of 120 must be 4 times that, which is £48. And so £120, take away the 48, you're left with 50, 60, 72 pounds. He pays 72 pounds for that coat. B, Ed finds the £120 coat at different website advertised with 30% discount. As a registered member, he's able to get a further 10% off the advertised price. Work out the advertised price, reduce the advertised price by 10%. How much does Ed pay? Ed finds the £120 coat at a different website advertised with 30% discount, right? So we know 10% of £120 is £12. So 30% must be £36. So 30% of £120 equals £36. As a registered member, he's able to get further 10% of his advertised price. £120 take away £36 is going to be £84, I think. So 84 plus 6 is going to be 90 plus 30 is 120, yeah, so £84. So as a registered member, he's able to get a further 10% of this advertised price. So it's advertised for £84 because 30% off. Work out the advertised price. We're going to work out 10% of 84. 10% of 84 now, that's the advertised price, is £8.40. So I'm going to take away another £8.40. So £84 take away £8 is going to be £76. And £76 take away another 40p. You're left with £75 and 60p. £75, 60p is how much he will pay with that 10% additional extra off. Question 12. Two square numbers have a difference of 33. Identify the two missing whole numbers that complete this calculation. A squared take away b squared equals 33. So we need to find two square numbers that have a difference of 33. How are we going to do that? We know it's going to be difference, right, of 33. So I have to think about numbers that when I multiply them, it's going to have around about 30, 33 difference. So if I think about it, I know that 5 squared, for example, is 25. So I might actually just write down 1 squared equals 1, 2 squared equals 4, 3 squared equals 9, 4 squared equals 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49, 8 squared is 64, 9 squared is 81, 10 squared is 100. Can you see how many mistakes I'm making? So this video is clearly showing you that I make a lot of mistakes, right? So we've got to be careful with our mistakes, okay? I'm trying to rush things because I've got a video, I've got to concentrate on this, and this. So many things. So sometimes it can be, that's my excuse of me. So if your parents ask, tell them he's got lots to think about, okay? So now we're going to think about which two square numbers give a difference of 33. So maybe it's 49 and 16. Is it 7 and 3? Could that be right? 49 take away 16. Or if I take 49 take away 10 is 39 take away 6. 16 is actually 4 squared, isn't it? Yeah. So 49 take away 16 is only 33. Yeah, 33. I can see 9 and 6. The reason I chose those two is because of 9 and 6. 9 take away 6 is 3. So I knew it was going to have 3 then, right? So I had to choose two numbers that I thought was going to have 3. When I subtract, it's going to have 3 ones. It must be 7 squared, it's 49. Take away 4 squared, which is 16, which makes it 33 when you subtract. Okay, moving on. Question 13. How many questions does this question have? 21 again. Okay, so question 13. Petra asks 5 friends how much time they spent watching TV the day before. The answer were 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. What is the average? So remember, when they talk about averages, if they don't say mode or median, they talk about mean, right? Whenever they say average, it means the mean. And so the mean is when you add them together, 2 add 3, add 4, add 5, add 8, divide by how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, divide by 5. 2 add 3 is 5, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 8 is 22 over 5. So we've got 22 over 5, and we're going to make that into something more readable, because this is in hours. So 22 divided by 5, we can cancel that down. 22 over 5 is going to be 4 wholes and 2 fifths. Okay, 4 and 2 fifths, which is going to be 4.4 hours. Okay, it's not 4 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, because 4.5 means 4.5. 4.5 is 4 hours and 30 minutes. So 4.4 is not 4 hours and 40 minutes. It's 4.4 hours. Or you can write down, well, I know 0.1 of an hour, 1/10 of an hour is 6 minutes. And so 0.4, 6, 12, 18, 24, you can write 4 hours, 24 minutes. Right, that can also work. But 4.4 hours is also fine. In the answer sheet, they've got 4.4 in this. Valerie asks 2 friends the same question as Petra. She records their answer in the table. Hours 1, people 5. Hours 2, 5 people said they watched 2 hours. 6 people said they watched 3 hours. 4 people said they watched 4 hours. What is the total amount of TV watched by Valerie's 20 friends? Remember, it says 20 friends, so you might be wondering, how did they get 20? This is going to equal to 20. 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 6 is going to be 20. So total amount, 5 people said 1 hour, so it'll be 5 times 1 hour. That's going to be 5 hours. Add 5 people said 2 hours, it's going to be 5 times 2 hours. That's 10 hours altogether. 6 people said 3 hours, 6 times 3 hours. That's 18 hours altogether. 4 times 4, 4 people said 4 hours, 4 times 4 is 16. So you've got 5, add 10, add 18, add 16. And that's the total number of hours we need to work out for this question. So when you add that together, you get 49 hours altogether. Okay, what is the total amount of TVs? 49 hours. Next question is, what is the average time Valerie's friends watch TV? Now, there's 20 friends. They watch 49 hours altogether. And so 49 hours divided by is the total amount of time, divided by how many people there were? There were 20 people. 20 over 49, 49 over 20, excuse me. That's going to be 20 to 40. That's 2 wholes. And you've got 9 20ths remaining. Okay, so you've got 2 and 9 20ths of an hour. You can write even 2 and 9 20ths of an hour, or you can turn that into 2.45 of an hour. Okay, 2.45 hour. They both work fine. Question 14. Errol has wooden cube 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. How many faces does a cube have? So all of us should know a cube has 6 faces. Think about a dice, right? A cube, think about a dice. If you've got a dice, I got one here. No, I haven't. It's got 6 faces. You got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your typical cube's gonna have, so your cube's gonna have 6. Errol paints the cube all over. What area in cubic centimeters does he paint? So you know that it's 20 by 20 by 20. So one face here, the area of one of these faces is going to be 20 by 20. So you've got 20 times 20, which you can think about as 2 times 2 is 4, 10 times 10 is 100, so it's 400. So each face takes up 400 cubic centimeters. I've got 6 faces. 6 times 400 cubic centimeters is equal to 2,400 cubic centimeters, and so the answer is 2,400 cubic centimeters. It says Errol now uses a saw to cut the cube in 2 along the dotted line. What fraction of the area of the 2 new blocks is not painted? Okay, let me read that again. So, all right, what fraction of the 2 new blocks? Okay, so you're going to have 2 new blocks because you're going to cut it with the dotted line here. And so we know this is going to be painted. Underneath is going to be painted. This side is going to be painted. This side is going to be painted. It's just going to be the inner part. So one out of those new 6 faces is not going to be painted. But then you've got to think this side are not the same size, right, as this one, for example. So all together, actually, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4, another 8. You're going to have 8 equal parts, right? So you've got this face here is going to be equal to the one behind it, and then you've got these two together are going to be equal. These two together are going to be equal. So you're going to have 4 for this block and 4 for that block. That's 8 equal parts. Out of the 8 equal parts, 2 out of the 8 equal parts are not painted, right? It's where you cut it in half, that inner side, the 2 sides that you've cut, that you've just newly made, those are 2 out of the 8 equal sides that are not painted, which is a quarter. A quarter of it is not painted. Okay, so bear that in mind. You've got to think of it a bit differently. You've got to think about equal parts because it's talking about fractions there, not just how many sides. That wouldn't work. So in this question, let me rub this out if I can. There we go. In this question, you can't just think, oh, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's going to be 10 different sides. Yes, it will be 10 different sides, but be quite a few of them, like this one here, is going to be different to this side. They're not equal, but if you have this side and the one on this side together is equal to this piece here, and therefore you can think of that those 2 sides as one. Oops, there we go. Those are 1, 2, 3 all painted. The one at the back isn't painted, right? So 1 out of 4 for the first block and 1 out of 4 for the second block. That's 2 out of 8 sides that are not painted. Question 15. Joe ties a rope from a branch of a tree overhanging a river. She stands on the bank holding the rope and then launches herself to swing out over the river and back to the bank where she stops. The graph shows her distance from the bank at different times from the start. How far does Joe travel in total? Okay, wow, there's quite a few things here. So we know that this is a distance time graph. So we've got to make sure we understand this part. It says time in seconds after the start. This is where she starts. So here, this is like 3 seconds after she starts. Distance from the bank in meters. Okay, distance from the bank in meters. All right, so where are we? So it says, how far does Joe travel? So Joe ties a rope from a branch of a tree overhanging a river. She stands on the bank holding the rope and then launches herself. So from here, she launches herself and goes all the way here and then comes back down. So the further she travels is this amount, which is going to be it's going to be 4 meters. Is that right? Let's see. Distance from the bank, 4 meters. But this is how far does she travel, right? So she travels 4 meters from here. She travels 4 meters here and then 4 meters back. So that's 8 meters altogether. Okay, it's a bit of a deceiving question, actually. I don't really like that question. It's not fair, I think, on children at this age to kind of put it in that way. But be careful. If it's how far it's traveled altogether, in total, it says, that must mean it's the way there is 4 meters and the way back is 4 meters. If it's how far has she traveled from the initial stage, right, where she leapt off, that's just 4 meters. She went 4 meters forward. For how long is Joe more than 3 meters from the bank? So 3 meters from the bank is here. Okay, so I'm going to make a line. If I had a ruler, I would do that instead. So let me do that properly. So you can see, I'll do something like that. Make a straight line, and I can see that from 1 second to 2 seconds, that's one. From 1 second to 2 seconds, that's 1 whole second. For 1 second, she's above 3 meters. Okay. How far from the bank is she when she's traveling fastest? So when she's traveling fastest, how far from the bank is she when she's traveling fastest? When is she traveling fastest? That's a bit of another really silly question. I think the fastest time is probably going to be from here to here, that 1 second period. That's 1 to 3, so it's going to be 2 meters. But it doesn't say, in any specific period of time. So that is a really poor question from them, but it is going to be 2 seconds. That's the fastest period, 1 second period that we can see. And so that's going to be 2 meters, not seconds, so 2 meters. Right, so let's look at the next question. Question 16 now. Let's see, what does it say here? The pie chart and table shows the answers given by 80 people to a survey about their favorite summer sports event of 2016. So you can see here the pie chart has an angle of 90 degrees for Tour de France. So Tour de France is 90 degrees. That means it's a quarter, because 90 degrees is a quarter. So I think this is 90 degrees. There's Tour de France is this one. Yep, that's 90 degrees. That's a quarter of the pie chart. That means it's a quarter of 80 people. That must mean this is 20 people. So Tour de France is 20. How many people does this represent? This represents 20 people. The next question, what fraction of the answers were Euro 2016? Simplify your answer if possible. So Euro 2016 is 16 out of 80. So the fraction is 16 out of 80. Well, I know I can divide 80 by 8 and 16 by 8. So I might have 2 by 10, but I can simplify that further. 1/5. So a fifth of the people chose Euro 2016. Calculate the angle needed for Euro 2016 in the pie chart. So we know pie charts, it's a circle, it's a pie, 360 degrees. We know that Euro 2016 is a fifth, we're trying to work out a fifth of 360, excuse me. And so a fifth of a tenth of 360 is 36. A fifth must be 72 degrees. So it's 72 degrees here. Fill in the missing numbers in these fractions, because it's tenth. 3/5 is equal to 6/10. 6/10 add 3/10 is 9/10. So don't forget, a few of you made mistakes when it comes to addition, subtraction. You're kind of forgetting to look at it, okay? Make sure you look at it and make sure you clarify yourself. Some of you have a lot of time, a lot of free time after the lesson, after the paper's been finished. Make sure you go through everything. Don't think you've done everything. Don't ever put that in your head that I've done it. I've got 20 minutes left. Oh, I've done everything. No, you haven't. You make mistakes. Find them. That's your job when you finished all of them. 2/7 add 3/10 is something 70ths. So I know if I multiply this by 10 is 70, and therefore 20 70ths add, if I multiply this by 7 is 70, so that's 7 times 3 is 21, 41 70ths. For question, what was that? Question 17b. 41 70ths, so I'm going to leave that there. A fifth add 3/4. Again, this would be nice to have in terms of 20ths. And so a fifth times 4 is going to be 20, times 4 is going to be 4. So 4 20ths. And this is times 5, 15 20ths. 15 add 4 is 19. Yeah, 19 20ths is fine. Question 18. Which of these statements is true and which of these statements is false? Indicate clearly which with a tick or a cross. Okay, so tick or a cross. The two diagonals of a rectangle are always equal in length. It's true. The two diagonals of a parallelogram are always equal in length. So if you think about a parallelogram, it looks something like this. So we're saying, is this length equal to this length? Okay, that's what we're saying. For a parallelogram, it's not equal in length, the diagonals. So we've got to be careful of that. The two diagonals of a rectangle always cross each other at right angles. Not with a rectangle, it doesn't. Okay, so we've got to be careful of that as well. 19. Complete the empty boxes in the following table with the missing measurements for the rectangles. So here we're saying length is 5, width is 4, perimeter is not only 5 add 3 is 8, it's going to be 16 perimeter, right? 5 times 3 is 15, the area. 14 length, if the area is 42, 14 times, is it 3, is 42. So we know that the width has to be 3, and then 3 add 14 is 17, plus 17 is 34, and therefore the perimeter must be 34. Question 20, 75 year 6 pupils visited a theme park on a school trip. They each had an opportunity to go on Doomfall or Skyleap, or to do both. If I was them, I would not go on either of them because they sound very scary. After the trip, they were asked what they had done. 8 pupils don't go on either ride. 53 pupils raised their hands to indicate they had been on Doomfall. 47 confirmed they had completed Skyleap. Use this information to answer the following. So this is the type of question, when you've got both, one or the other, or neither, you should know what type of question this is. This is a Venn diagram question. Okay, so let's draw the Venn diagram, something like that. That's too small, actually. Let me make it bigger, something like that. You've got D for Doomfall, S for Skyleap, and I know 7 has to add up to 75. Whatever numbers I put here, it's add up to 75. After the trip, they were asked what they had done. 8 pupils didn't go on either ride, so 8 is going to go here. 53 raised their hands to indicate they had been on Doomfall. So altogether, the whole of this, right, Doomfall is going to be 53, right? Put that in. 53 pupils said they indicated Doomfall. 47 confirmed they visited Skyleap. So I'm going to do that again, but in a different color now. So all of this, right, is going to be Skyleap. That makes it a bit tricky because if we add 40, what was it? 47, isn't it? 47 add 53, add 8 all together. 47 add 53 is going to be 108 plus 8, 108. But it's only 75 pupils here. So therefore, it's 108 take away 75, which is 25 plus 8 is 33. So basically, we're saying there are 33 too many here because the total should be 75, right? So that 33 must be counted twice, must have been counted twice. That must have gone in the middle, which means the number of people that went both rides is 33. How many people rode only Doomfall? And remember, the whole of Doomfall must be 53, right? 53. 33 of them went to both, okay? So therefore, I'm going to do 53, take away 33, which is equal to 20. So 20 of the pupils went to Doomfall on its own, because 20 add the 33 gives me my 53, right, that I need for the whole of the Doomsfall circle. And then it says, what fraction of the pupils did not ride Skyleap? Well, I know 20 went to Doomsfall, 8 went to neither, that's 28. 28 didn't go to, so this is the part that you have to make sure you concentrate on. Doomsfall 20, 8 neither, 33 went on both, so they went on this one as well. They went on Skyleap, but it says did not ride Skyleap, so you don't count the 33. So it's just 20 and 8, 28. 28 out of 75 fraction, because remember, if the question says fraction, you've got to give a fraction. 28 out of 75 did not go on to Skyleap. And our final question, question 21, says look carefully at the pattern sequence made from black and white square tiles. How many tiles would be needed in total for the 7th pattern? So if we think about it, when we've looked at questions like this, I've said to you, make a table, okay? So you've got pattern number, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got white tiles. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you've got black. You've got 0, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, and you might have 1 for total. Total is going to be 1, 4, 9, 16. And you might notice straight away 1, 4, 9, 16. Whenever you have squares in a sequence, literally you've got squares in here, right? You've got a square here, you've got a square there, you've got a square here, and you've got a square there. How do I know the square? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 by 4, 3 by 3, 2 by 2, and 1 by 1, right? Squares. So if they're squares, they're going to have square numbers to make up those values, okay, the actual squares. So how many tiles would be needed in total for 7th one? Well, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 7 squared is 49. We need 49. Okay, so for question B, think about it this way. How many black tiles are needed for 7th pattern? The way I would think about it is this. Well, you've got the pattern 1, 1, then 6, 6 for white. So you know it kind of repeats itself every 2 tiles, right? Then you've got black 0, and then 3, 3, 10, 10. So if you know this is 10 and this is the 5th one, you know the total's on 25, this must be 15. So if the white is 15 here, remember it doubles up. So 1, 1, 6, 6, 15, this must be 15. If that's 15 and that's the 6th one, and you know 6 one is going to be a total of 6 squared, which is 36. So 36 take away 15 is 21. If that's 21, then you know this is going to be 21, for example. If that's 21, then 49 take away 21 is going to be 38 here. So it says how many black tiles are in the 7th pattern? 7th pattern black tiles, there's 21 black tiles. The 9th pattern in the sequence has 36 black tiles. If the 9th pattern has 36 black tiles, I know 9 squared is 81. So I can work out easily how many white tiles it has. But the question is, which other pattern in the sequence also uses exactly 36 black tiles? So we know that 2 and 3, 4 and 5 have the same, 6 and 7 have the same, 8 and 9, the 8th one and the 9th one will have the same number of black tiles. And that's it for the end of this completed test. I want to do one more. I think I did 2020 last. Then I'll do 2019. So we partly went through this. We don't have time to finish it all. So now we've gone through it all. Have a look at the ones that you don't understand. Even if I went through it in class, have a look at this in terms of the ones you don't understand, and then you can hopefully understand it better now that I've gone through it in this video. If you've got any other questions, let your parents know and they can email me and I can go through anything that you're not sure of as well. Okay, good to see everyone. Well, not see actually. Good to know that you're going through my videos, and hopefully it's good to see me, and I will see you another time. Bye everyone.